Hello, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
How you doing? Yeah. If you guys are listening, for our audio listeners, there's a noticeable person missing.
We're down a man.
Down a man. Don't worry, he's still alive. But
He's on the beach. You don't have to feel bad.
He's on the beach. He's chilling, not for undisclosed location. You know what I'm saying? Living his life. We miss you, Nnamdi. We miss you. Come back. Get back safely. Get back soon. But he's on the beach in an undisclosed location. But we're still gonna do this podcast. But so Avery, you love music. You love music from your favorite artists. But what's the worst? Yeah, exactly. What's the worst song that your favorite artist or one of your favorite artists has released?
When you asked me this, my mind went to one place.
One place.
Weezer. Great rock band Weezer.
Mm-hmm.
From like their 2010, I think, 2009 album, Ratitude. There's a song with Lil Wayne.
Oh.
And it's called Can't Stop Partying. And it is horrible. Like,
I believe you played as a song just because it was this bad.
Yeah. There's a line in there where Lil Wayne says, "All right, it's Weezer and it's Wheezy." And it's
That's kind of funny.
It's just the worst. Like that's the farthest the band has strayed from like their roots, and it like they weren't good at it.
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of like, I feel like you could point to that album specifically, but you could also point to that song specifically and be like, this is where Weezer went wrong in their careers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that for me.
That's where everything changed.
That's where everything changed.
So
and they've literally since apologized for that album and other songs.
Sorry guys, this is an apology.
Yeah.
That's when the artist apologizes, it's really bad. Kind of like Eminem. Eminem's like, remember Eminem did that? He was like, oh man, sorry for the bad album. Yeah, that's when you know it's bad. For me, Earl Sweatshirt, you guys know it's a favorite of mine. And this honestly popped to my mind because he played this at the show I went to a couple weeks ago. He has a song on his 2019 EP project. You know, he never really specified it. It's called East, okay? And it gives me the meme of like LeBron and 2 Chainz dancing with that terrible beat in the background. You know, people used to make memes about Damn from Insecure about like, you know, Damn making beats. Yeah, exactly. No, the terrible beat. It's kind of like that, honestly, the music behind it. It's pretty horrible. The song's called East by Earl Sweatshirt. Once you listen to it, you will understand what I'm saying. Even if what he's rapping about is good, like the production is so bad and it takes me out. It's literally like clown horns. It's ridiculous. Seriously. It's like, it's
Wait, who produced it?
I don't have no idea. Probably Earl, honestly. I'm about to look up who produced that song right now.
Was this like some rap? Was this off some rap songs?
No. See, some rap songs is good, but this is off Feet of Clay, which is like the EP that came out the next year. It's like it kind of like B-sides, kind of. I'm assuming because he's on the same kind of type vibe. But yeah, like this album that we recently reviewed a couple weeks ago. Sick. He's on a whole different vibe, but this one he's kind of on the same vibe he is from some rap songs. But I love some rap songs, but this is just out of my control. Produced by a random black dude. That's the name of the producer.
Interesting.
So that tells you everything. I'm just kidding. He's probably good, but that was not it. So
everyone misses every once in a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and somebody was making fun of this on TikTok. I like how he'll just rap over anything, and it'll be like, I think you said that to me. Somebody said it to me about like he'll rap.
No, I wouldn't say that about Earl. I'd say that about DaBaby. DaBaby will literally rap over anything.
True. Hey, oh my gosh. Okay, the thing, you know what? DaBaby would make the song with Earl worse. He'd put like some trap drums over it, and then it'd be like, oh.
Yeah. If you put some like 808s and trap drums over like the SpongeBob theme, DaBaby.
Oh my god. Oh, he would do that. He would do that for sure. Yeah. So, but welcome to the 97 Demo Podcast, where you get the latest in new, where you get the latest in news, music, and a whole bunch along the way. Shout out to Nnamdi. I can't do it like you, but you're still here with us. I'm one of your hosts, Noah McGee, joined by my other host, Avery, the law. Yeah, so headlines this week. The Weeknd announces a new immersive TV special, which honestly came at a bad time a couple days ago. If you're on Twitter and you see Weeknd's tweets about Thursday night.
Yeah, there was a pretty bad one right when Russia decided to invade Ukraine, where the Weeknd just put out "Let's go" in all caps.
Let's go, all caps.
Like right when it started, and it was
a bad time.
Nnamdi says this a lot. He said the Weeknd is like the worst at timing, at least especially over the last couple of years. You know, he put out his album at the beginning of COVID. He put out this second album at the beginning of like one of the biggest waves of COVID we've seen, and then now he's releasing a TV special on the weekend where, and tweeting very positive things at a very negative time. So
yeah,
it's interesting timing.
In his defense, he did come back and say, "I'm sorry, I messed up. Sorry, like I didn't, I didn't. Yeah. It just happened to happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's good. But I honestly don't think he's a bad guy. I don't think he was being insensitive. I think he really just messed up. But this, this new immersive TV special is on Amazon Prime, right? It's on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in what it's gonna be like because it came out on Saturday the 26th, and I don't know, is this gonna be like a Lemonade type deal where like the whole album is like a movie? Remember how Lemonade, it was like all the music videos in one, basically like a movie essentially. Like, yeah, I don't know, I'm interested.
It's gonna stream alongside the video as like an 8-track live EP. So I'm assuming it's like some sort of live album with like 8 cuts from the album.
Oh.
So I'll probably check it out. I mean, the album's very cinematic and I can see it.
We like the album. We like that.
Yeah, the album's great. And I can see it having some really cool visuals, especially with the Weeknd, who's like very creative.
I'm interested in what songs he's gonna pick. You know what I'm saying?
What do you want on there?
Like, what do I want on the music? Like, honestly, it's not even what I want. It's like, what's gonna make sense? I'm like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, because obviously Weeknd is really into the cinematics and telling a story. I mean, he was like that with the last album. So, like with After Hours. So I'm thinking, man, he gotta have Sacrifice on there.
Sacrifice, Gasoline's gotta be on there.
Take My Breath.
Out of time.
I'm thinking Out of Time. Honestly, I can't see any of the songs with like the features on it. I'd be surprised. Yeah. It would be kind of cool if like Lil Wayne or Tyler. Actually, not Lil Wayne. That song, I don't like that song that much. But the Tyler song, like somebody popped up. That'd be kind of cool. He could do something. He's a good actor. He could, he could be
some like cool, maybe something cool with Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be dope. That'd be really cool. If he
They're apparently just neighbors, so
that's another thing people don't talk about. These comedians doing like work with rappers. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but like Seinfeld always collaborated with Wale, which is so random.
It's so interesting. About nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Which that's actually like really like interesting. That's really creative because like, you would think Seinfeld, like no disrespect to Wale, he's all right artist. He's not bad, obviously, but like Seinfeld's like a legendary comedian, and Wale's like he's a good rapper, and it's like that connection is kind of random.
He's like a huge fan of his, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he's done a lot of work with him. And they have a relationship, so that's really cool. But yeah, I think that would be awesome if Jim Carrey was on it. But yeah, I think we're interested in listening to that. So yeah, check that out. Agreed. New releases, not a huge Weeknd new releases. A couple albums that I think we're all looking forward to. Earth Gang, Conway the Machine, but a lot of singles for the most part. Nothing crazy, but still new music out. So Avery, what were you listening to?
Yeah, like you said, not a ton. Rosalia had a new song, which was cool. Florence and the Machine finally put out a new song. Flo Milli put out a new song. But honestly, and also there's a song with Lil Uzi Vert and Pink Panthers, along with 2 other artists, Miramasa and Shy Girl. That was pretty cool.
Why is that kind of perfect?
It actually literally was kind of perfect. I enjoyed it a lot.
I want the Pink Panthers, Olivia Rodrigo, because when they tease, like they saw each other and
she also has a song with Willow somewhere in the that's on TikTok floating around. So
she's about to blow up.
Yeah, she's
about to go.
The one that stood out to me was our guy NXG put out a new song called Vagabond. And,
my guy.
I think he's gearing up for something new soon, but this song was pretty cool, pretty exciting. NXG's got a ton of energy, and that shows through on every song. And this one was really catchy. So shouts out to NXG.
Shout out to NXG. Listen to our interviews. We have 2 interviews with him actually. I'll pull up those episodes later. But my standout track, our new release, was Denzel Curry featuring Slow Tie. I don't know how to say this.
Zatoichi.
Satoichi. It's spelled Zatoichi. Denzel Curry's been on a little run with these singles. Like Walking was amazing. That song was
so good.
He went.
He also
in
put
on
out
that
one
track.
last year called The Game. That was. So
I don't know what he's gonna do for this, but yeah, I'm excited. What yeah. Hold on, I messed up. Sorry, people. Here we go. I'm back. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Slow Tie's great as always. He had a great project last year. You put me on, Avery. That project last year was great. So, but I think
he's a weird artist. He's a good artist.
Weird artist, but good. But yeah, Denzel Curry's just dope, super dope. I'm excited for new music from him. I'm expecting an album the next couple weeks. So yeah, we'll put these on the playlist for sure. Right, we'll put this on the playlist.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, obviously, I want to point out, Ghetto Gods, Earth Gang. We're excited about that. We're fans of Earth Gang. We're fans of Dreams of Artists.
I feel like no one really knew when that album was gonna come out, and then like a day before they're like, hey, it's coming out tonight.
Yeah, because some people thought it was out for a while. Like, remember it was like, it's out, and I was like, it's not out.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah, but there's some cool features on there. Jid and J. Cole are on the same song.
Which is always special.
Yeah. So I'm excited to really dig into it.
And Conway the Machine releases his 30th album, but also this is random. This is his Shady debut.
Oh really?
But this only album on Shady. So it's his debut, but he's only doing one album on Shady.
Was he only ever on like one? Like, was it a one album deal or something?
I guess it's interesting. So the Rick Ross, Lil Wayne's, Joe Scott's on here, Lil Wayne, T.I. Yeah, that's actually a big get. Jill Scott, you could tell Benny Siegel, a bunch of Philly people, Philly in the building. But that's interesting. I don't know. He got the budget for this. Conway's dope, so I think we all, we all respect his ability. So yeah. So good weekend new releases. You'll see those on the playlist. Okay, Avery. Reviews.
Yes. So if you guys remember, we did a January review roundup with FK Twigs and Gunna and The Weeknd and one other that I can't remember at the moment.
Earl. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so now in February, we're just gonna get quickly run through some albums that we didn't get the chance to dedicate a whole episode to. So that'll be Hippo Campus, Curren y The Alchemist, Saba, and Mistki, all released projects this month that we wanted to talk about. And yeah, we're gonna start off with Hippo Campus LP3.
Avery, how about you give us this intro? Because these are your people.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite bands. Yeah, nice indie rock band out of Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. This is their third project, as the title indicates. Yeah. It's on the heels of a little EP that they put out last year called Good Dog Bad Dream that I really loved. And this album kind of dives more into the kind of like more indie rock electronic sound that they explored on the EP, which was really cool. It's a nice easy 10 songs. It's like a nice
really short
minute. Yeah.
Oh, it's so short, like most of these projects too. But yeah.
So I'm damn near a stan of Hippo Campus, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm interested, Noah, what do you think? What did you think of this album?
I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. You saw me, if you follow me on Instagram, I really enjoyed Ashtray, which is felt like the single. Was that the single?
No, so the singles were Boys, and then Semi-Pro, and then Ride or Die, and then Bang Bang.
Yeah. The thing I love about them is they have a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy, a lot of drums, obviously with other sounds, but that's what I love. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of energy. Ashtray was just really catchy, man. They have a lot of catchy hooks, some interesting sounds. I joked with Avery that at the end of Blue, it's the second track. I thought my headphones broke, which I still don't like. I really thought my headphones, I was like, oh, are you kidding me? This sucks. But a really easy listen, short, everything kind of flows. I'm not sure there was a track over 3 minutes, honestly. It was really, really short. So I really enjoyed the whole thing. But I'm interested how you feel from somebody who's how this compares to their other projects.
Yeah, man. It really feels like they grew up on this one. They were really young in the last two, and you can tell a lot of the lyrics were about kind of just unabashed confidence. Also kind of the theme of that first song, Too Young to Die, which might be my least favorite on this album.
Really?
But yeah, this it feels like they grew up. It deals with a lot of the themes of struggles of adulthood, growing up. Mm-hmm. A lot of the lyrics are a little darker than some of their previous albums, a little bit more personal, especially on the song Boys, which was their first single. It's a really upbeat song, but if you listen to the lyrics, they're really depressing. So
yeah, man, they were really personal on here, which is interesting, always coming from groups. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really aware, because how many lead singers is there? One lead singer? Because that's another thing about groups.
Yeah, the main guy. His name's Jake Luppin.
Okay, Okay, yeah. that actually makes it a lot easier. So now, because sometimes with bands when people are personal, like remember we did Brockhampton, it's like 8 guys being really personal. It's kind of hard to decipher. Not a bad thing, but it's hard to decipher. So it's interesting that it's just like one
there's a lot
singers,
of them. There's like 5 of them in this band, I think. And another thing I noticed was in past albums you could hear like one of them plays the horn. It's like you can usually hear a horn in the background of their songs, but this album I didn't hear that a lot.
Yeah, I didn't hear that a lot.
So I'm wondering where he went.
Yeah.
But I think it's because they kind of leaned into the electronic kind of sound.
They did for sure.
That you kind of lost a little bit of the instrumentation.
What were some of the songs that like stood out to you the most in terms of like they did that electronic sound like super well? What do you think?
I think Bluets definitely is one, especially his voice is pitched up way high.
For sure.
Yeah, probably honestly Bluets. And then Bang Bang is really interesting, and also Ride or Die. Ride or Die a little bit more experimental than stuff that they usually stuck with, because it's very traditional indie rock, I think, in the last couple albums.
Yeah. Did you like Semi Pro? What you think about that?
Oh, I love that song. That was probably my favorite single.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah. And I didn't listen to some of the singles. Obviously, one of them. I believe you put some of these singles on the playlist before. I believe. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Semi Pro is one of my favorites for sure. How do you feel like the way it ended? Understand? I thought it ended really, good ending, solid ending.
I really liked it. I think honestly, the album, in my opinion, got stronger as it went on.
I agree.
I think also a lot of the sounds are like kind of reminiscent of like early 2010s indie rock, like kind of the Vampire Weekend-ish. And I usually think that's a strength on this album, but like I said, like on the first song, Too Young to Die, I think that's where it kind of just sounds a little old and like not in a great way. So I think Too Young to Die is the one that just to me did not stick the landing that the rest of them did.
This is the album that we're kind of like, you'll be finished with it before you know what you did. You're like, oh, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really don't pay attention to the lyrics. And that's one of the things I want to go back and do now. Because, like, honestly, I was really just vibing throughout the whole thing. Like, it's sunny outside. It's, so with these albums sometimes, not these, but, like, albums in general where, like, the sound isn't necessarily depressing. Not depressing, but, they're talking about real stuff on there, which is really interesting. And I really do like The Boys. That's one of my favorites. Ride or Die, Semi Pro, and Ashtray is just, I think that's my favorite track on the album.
Ashtray is
my favorite. It's so catchy. It's really good. I really enjoyed that song a lot. So yeah, man. Anything else you want to say? We can do scores. We can bang this out.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else that needs to be said on this.
Yeah, really solid. I want to get your score first. Yeah. Oh, you want to go?
I'm between 2, so you go.
Okay. I'm between two, but I'm not score of 2, but I'm gonna give it. Man, this is tough. It's good, so I'm gonna give it a 7.5. 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. It's good, really good. Honestly, this has the ability to go up once I go back and listen to it and listen to some of the tracks and hear some of the lyrics. So, but 7.5 because it's really good. So yeah.
I think now that I'm talking through it and there's 10 songs on there and there's 9 I really love, 9? I think I'm just gonna go 9 out of 10. That's the best way I can.
Simple math.
In my head, I'm like, I love 9 out of the 10.
Honestly,
of the songs.
That's really easy to do. I respect that a lot. I respect that a lot.
I was between 8 and 9, and I'm like, you know what? Like, why would I give it an 8? Like,
yeah. Sometimes you want to find a reason to be like to bring it down. We do that a lot with reviews. It's like, it shouldn't be 9. It's not.
But I just like, I really enjoy this album. Like, I really love it. So,
hey, man.
9 out of 10.
Now okay, so next review, we're going on Currency and The Alchemist continuance.
Yes. So tell me a bit about Currency. I don't know much about
Currency. Currency is a New Orleans artist, I believe. I believe from New Orleans, but he's from Louisiana, that area. He's been rapping for a while. The Alchemist is a frequent collaborator with him. He has a couple projects with him, actually. He did a project with Freddie Gibbs that I recommend a lot of people go listen to, called Fetty, a couple years ago with Freddie Gibbs. Honestly, because Freddie Gibbs is pretty incredible on there. I'll say that, But yeah, he has a project from a while ago. Let me go back into my. He has an album called Covert Coup back in 2011. Coup. I said Covert Coup.
That was with The Alchemist, right?
Yeah, that was with The Alchemist too.
Isn't that considered a classic or something? I was reading that people consider that a classic, or like that's very well known or something.
That's a good track. Yeah, that's a good album. I really do enjoy it, but I don't know if people consider it a classic. But I mean, The Alchemist at this point. So Currency is, he's a New Orleans artist rapper. He kind of helped. He's worked with Wiz Khalifa, who's on this project, and obviously The Alchemist. I mean, he's arguably the best producer out right now, the most prolific, easily. I would argue, most prolific. He puts out projects multiple times a year, and this is his first project of the new year with the rapper. So that's interesting. So I'll go first.
Yeah, what do you
about
think?
This?
What do you think of this album?
It was cool. It was cool. That's the best word to put it.
That's kind of where I am.
Nothing exciting, and that's not a bad thing. If you're vibey, want to just ride around, that's kind of Currency style. He's like kind of talking the whole time, not like an incredible lyricist. He's kind of just super vibey. If you want to drink and smoke and kind of ride out with your boys, like that's kind of the vibe he's on. Like really slow too. Like if you want to like cruise down the street, not like zooming down the street type thing. But it was cool. One of the things that I think doesn't bring it down, but it's just like the energy on here is kind of all the features, which were really good, kind of match Currency's energy, which is, it's not a bad thing because I like, if you want to chill and like, not really exciting hype tracks, that's fine. I'm not always hype, but not a lot of energy in terms of the rapper's delivery on here throughout the album. But The Alchemist, this is The Alchemist and Currency. So The Alchemist production was, great. There was no bad beat, no bad production, but it was just really cool. I really enjoyed Boldy James' track No Yeast. I am a big Boldy James fan, but
yeah, that song was great.
And I like Corvette Rally Stripes with Havoc. And Wiz Khalifa was good too. When I heard, I was like, oh, that's Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, literally, it was nice to hear Wiz Khalifa again.
Yeah, I was shocked, but yeah. And I actually thought the Larry June feature, which he's an Oakland artist that a lot of people have been on the last couple of years. He's kind of the same because one of the things about Currency, he's really into cars, like a lot of car references. I mean, Corvette Rally Stripes, that's his thing. And Larry June, that's his thing too. He's really into cars and whatnot. So really solid project, but nothing that blew me away in terms of like the lyrics or anything like that. So really cool. It was cool.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think much stood out to me after like my first listen of the album. Like I couldn't really pick out. I was like, what did I just listen to? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like super chill. Like like you said, I can just see myself putting it on when I'm like
chill.
Just vibing. Yeah, like
cleaning.
Super chill. Yeah.
Cleaning or
maybe
something.
Not even cleaning. I maybe need something a little more upbeat when I'm cleaning.
Every time I fall asleep, clean. Every time, oh crap.
Yeah, maybe I'm like working,
Yeah. Oh, that's
something
a good point.
That.
Working.
Yeah, sure. No Yeast is great. I like Jodeci Tape. I thought that was pretty good.
That was good too.
But yeah, and I think to me personally, I think all the features were a little more interesting than himself on those songs.
Agreed. Couldn't agree more.
It was like hearing Boldy James do something like kind of relaxed was kind of cool. Or even like Larry June and Wiz Khalifa. Actually, just hearing Wiz Khalifa in general is cool, but like just hearing them try and match that energy was really nice.
That's another thing because Wiz Khalifa doesn't really rap like this.
Yeah,
which is interesting because they're connected. They're closely connected. So that's interesting. Honestly, the Havoc feature, because he was the one that was like the most energetic from what I remember. Like he was really aggressive. Like maybe that's just his voice, but I heard it and I was like, oh, there's somebody. It was a voice that stood out. Yeah, I was like, where'd that come from? You know what I'm saying? The Alchemist, he does a good job with these kind of tracks too. Like the thing is, he made a perfect album for a Currency. I think this is the type of project Currency wanted. Currency, this is the type of music he really does. Like really chill, really vibey. That's his thing. Jet Life. Even though it's Jet Life, it's not really like fast. It's not like oh my god, it's like Jet Life. You know what I'm saying? So
what do you think of the production throughout the album? What do you think of Alchemist's part in this album?
I mean, Alchemist is just incredible with that. Like I love, he does this with everything, but like he'll have these like little like samples of like old TV shows or whatever, or like something. I don't know where he finds these, but it's always interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I'd be interested to see his process because
I love that. That's one of my favorite parts about it. So yeah, Alchemist is incredible at this point. But
to me, like hearing the production was my favorite part because he's just such an interesting producer. Like you said, like he pulls stuff out of literally nowhere that I don't think anyone else could think of, in the way that like I guess like Kanye could bring out like a soul sample from like nowhere and make it into a song. Like the Alchemist can just pull like random movie clips or like a TV show or like a talk show or something, and it's like or like a sports show on like that Bo Jackson tape. So like it's pretty cool.
I agree. And a lot of people put him in a hole of like the type of artists he works with, but I mean he's worked with Eminem, he's worked with Schoolboy, like he's worked with bigger artists. It just looked like he's like kind of on like, he has his own like little label now, so he kind of just like does whatever. But and obviously he's a close collaborator with Action Bronson. But yeah,
I want him to do like a collab album with like all my favorite artists.
With who?
With like any of my favorite artists, because I feel like he just elevates anyone.
I agree. I don't know anybody he would hurt with production. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would hurt for sure. But really cool project. I might like it more, but I'm not a huge fan of Currency in general. But a lot of people were like, "Oh, this is fire heat." Like The Alchemist has production. Like he has projects where like all the Boldy James projects is crazy because I feel like he brings out the energy in him. With this, it was like, don't bring out the energy in me, which is fine. Some people might love it, but not a bad project. But I would actually be really interested to hear just the instrumental because I love instrumental albums, and that'd be really interesting to hear. That'd be great. And Alchemist has a couple of those, so I'll give it a score. All
right, what do you got?
Honestly, I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 because it's not like straight up bad. Like it's not bad. It's not a bad project in no way, but like just nothing interesting. Honestly, for me, I was more interested in the features. I'm not a huge Currency fan in general or his delivery. He didn't have a lot of energy, which is fine, but maybe I wasn't in the mood. Maybe I'll go back and be like, oh man, I was a little too tough on this, but not something like, not my favorite Alchemist, collaboration, which is fine. So I'm gonna go with a 6 for right now.
I'm exactly with you. I'm also gonna give it a 6. Like, yeah. I would
not bad
points. It's not bad. It's just not something I would like. I don't know if I'm gonna return to it for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Next one. Saba, A Few Good Things. A couple episodes ago, we had Grant on, and he discussed like he got to interview him, so that was good. I believe I don't remember exactly what episode that was. Let me double check. I believe that was the Black History of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's
episode 77. Yeah, I think that's when he came on. Saba is a Chicago artist. Actually, Avery, you give the intro. You're really good. You're a huge Saba fan, so.
Yeah, this is his 3rd album, I believe, 3rd studio album.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
His last album, Care for Me, is one of my favorite rap albums of all time. I think.
Would you say that's the one that people like? Oh man, that's when I really became a fan. Like that's his.
I think so. He had some hits off Bucket List Project, like
for sure.
There's one specifically. I can't find Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a pretty popular song, but yeah, Care for Me was, man, I feel like that's when I realized how good of a storyteller he is, I think. And also, he's pulling from a lot of trauma on that album, and just being able to so eloquently put that into words is such a great skill, I think. And also making the songs just crazy catchy is impressive.
But isn't it interesting because compared to that project, this one it's a little more like positive, light. Yeah,
I think it shows in like the album covers, honestly, too. Care for Me is like a black and white, dark. He's like dark. He's huddled over. He looks sad. Yeah. And this album is like vibrant. There's like kind of pastel colors. There's flowers on it.
It's light.
And when we talked to Grant, he talked about how Saba just wanted to appreciate the few good things, rather than focusing on the negative. He wants to appreciate the good things in his life.
Didn't he say something along the lines, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he say something he wants to create like the anti-Care for Me, essentially? Yeah. Something along those lines, like kind of the opposite of that. So yeah.
I got that, honestly, too. And so, while he's still dealing with the fallout of his cousin getting murdered, it still feels more positive. There's still songs like Survivor's Guilt, where he really does reflect on those things, but also there's songs like 2012 or Few Good Things where he's just like he's appreciating things a little bit more.
Yeah, Survivor's Guilt is one of the more energetic songs on the project too.
Yeah, and him and G Herbo, two Chicago guys.
Yeah, Chicago guys, which is interesting because they're not the same. They're both from Chicago, but obviously different. Different styles of rap. I would say. G Herbo's obviously more drill music and whatnot, but that fit actually. But yeah, man, I agree with you. Saba is an incredible storyteller. Not as much a big fan of you, but I did listen to Care for Me when it came out because that was one that was like obviously we went to a college where like a lot of Chicago people from there, and they were like, oh, Saba, and that was one that stood out to me. So that was really good, that project. But yeah, I really enjoyed this project a lot. Like you said, he's a really good storyteller. He's really honest, which is, something, that's a skill that I think we got to appreciate more. Nnamdi loves talking about having that's his thing, a story throughout the project. Yeah, that's one of his favorite things. And yeah, I mean, he was really honest on here, talking about family, talking about being from Chicago. Like, I loved when that comes across in like the music, other than just like the way they rap. Like when they're like, I'm from Chicago, they say something along those lines, something that's really personal. I love that. I love an interlude called Circus. I don't know if that's him rapping or Aaron Allen Kane. I don't know, with that high pitch voice. I'm not sure. Is that him?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Can you click on that song to see if that's him rapping? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's just Saba. I think that's Saba rapping.
Is, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. I really enjoyed that track. But what are some of your favorite tracks on here?
I mean, 2012, we talked about Grant. It's very, it is like an indie rock song where he's rapping over it, which is so sick. But still with Black and Smino, I love it.
Oh yeah, that's like a lot. Honestly, that's like a perfect trio of like features.
Yeah,
because Smino's obviously a close collaborator, which we're still waiting on that collab. We forget, but
they literally post. Did you see they posted a picture of it this weekend?
Recently?
Yes.
Oh,
let me go find it.
I mean, we still want that. We still want that. But I agree. Still is a perfect. I actually liked a Simpler Time, Mariba. She's
Mariba's so good.
Isn't she part of Isn't she part of we won it. Isn't Mariba part of Spillage Village? Is she part of them?
Yes,
what's she on
she
there?
is.
She's part of that. That's interesting. Yeah. Mariba, really good singer. I really enjoyed that track. I'm trying to think of some other tracks.
The second song is great too.
Yeah,
I won't read the title, but the second song's great.
One Way or Every Nigga with a Budget. That's a song.
Yeah.
Okay,
that song is fantastic.
That's a song. Really good song, obviously. Man, he's just like, and that's also another thing. I love his titles. Sometimes, I think about how would I love a song, more or less if like the song was the same, but the title was different. Like I really do think about that. But I really do like his titles, and they're really, even if like they don't say the name of the song, if they like keep to the theme of the song, it works for me. Like if I had $1, I really like that one too. If I had $1, that's a really, really good one.
The other thing that stood out to me with this album was when he was releasing singles, like I thought they were all good, but they're, I don't know, like something about them didn't stick with me, but hearing them within the context of the album, like Stop That and Come My Way, like I really enjoyed hearing them again. And especially Stop That. There's a lot of energy on that song.
Yeah, Stop That. I remember that was the ones that you were like, oh, when we listened to it. And I was like, it's good. But I was like,
yeah,
it's good. It's a good track. Like it was a really good track.
Yeah.
But I do agree in the context of the album. And honestly, another thing, me with the, album lengths and, how long it is. 14 tracks, 48 minutes, I believe. Really good length. And Black Thought at the end, the last track. I mean, Black Thought's like literally one of the goats, right? Like he has.
Is there a better rapper?
No, this is the thing. There's nobody who can say it's better than him.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like there's a couple. Like honestly, in rap, it's hard to say like who's the best because people like. But honestly, there's not a rapper I would say is better than Black Thought.
Yeah, especially like technically, the dude's just so.
If we're talking not album, because obviously he doesn't have like recently he has a couple projects. But like if we're talking about like the ability to rap, there's nobody that can rap better than Black Thought. He's arguably the best ever.
All you have to do is point to that 10-minute freestyle.
Oh my gosh.
The
dude's incredible.
Unreal. And then him being part of Roots just makes it all better too. So
for sure. Make Believe, Fouché. She was on Vince Staples' project. She had a good feature on there. It looks like she's like, making the rounds. I haven't listened to any of her music by it, but it looks like she's making the rounds of some like pretty good projects. So yeah, man. I mean, we've talked about this Saba project for like the last couple weeks. It feels like we talked about this a lot. But
I don't know. I think like when I first listened to it, I think I said this about the singles too, but I don't know. Something about the album didn't really stick with. I thought I could see it was good, but like it didn't really stick with me. But like listening to it for this week for this episode, I really loved it. Like it really stuck with me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So scores.
You feeling?
Man, I feel like I'm being tough. I really do like this a lot.
Yeah.
I really do like this a lot. This is tough, man. This is tough.
I have mine.
I
can go with mine if you want.
Q go.
Yeah.
You got one? Go ahead.
Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this project. I don't think there's a song I don't like. I want to listen to the whole thing again. So I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Okay. You see, I feel better now. I'm gonna give it a 7.5.
Okay.
Really, really good. Really, really good. That can definitely grow on me, but really, really good. Last project on our review roundup. I like how we did every other one was like rap, alternative, wait. That was purposeful. You know what I'm saying? But Laurel Hell. Am I saying that correctly, Avery? Laurel Hell.
Yes.
Laurel. Mistki.
By Mistki.
Yeah. Is this her on the album cover? Is that her?
It is.
Okay. Avery, you want to give me an intro?
Yeah.
Intro on her. Is she from Texas? I'm interested.
I feel like she is.
That's interesting. See, Avery, if they from Texas, Avery, they got you. They got you.
Oh, she's from Japan. Okay.
Oh, okay. Even cooler.
I think this is her first album on Dead Oceans, which is the label that like Phoebe Bridgers and all them are on.
Oh my gosh, you just it all makes sense.
I'm pretty sure this is the
Are you kidding? Are you serious?
I'm serious. No, I'm pretty sure this is her first album on Dead Oceans, which is
that's insane.
The Phoebe Bridgers label.
Wow.
Yeah, she's been around for a while. This is like her 5th album, I think. But she's kind of become like a little legendary. The 6th album. This is her 6th album. Like this is
wow.
She's kind of become a little like a myth. I don't know, mythic, I guess. Like a little
mythical.
Yeah, kind of like in a Frank Ocean kind of way where they're like, it's like, what are they doing? What are they up to?
Frank Ocean with more music. Oh, like anything he does, like Frank Ocean walking.
Yeah, it's like
gosh.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. She's like a little reclusive.
An enigma.
Yeah, an enigma. She's like an anti-pop star kind of thing going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like she's pop, like people love her, but she don't really act like it. You know what I'm saying?
Like recently she's given you something to wait for. Right? Like the last album came out in 2018, which a lot of people
4 years
loved. Be the Cowboy. Like that.
Yeah, you've had that as a project the week before, I believe.
Yeah, that's like that's in like pop music, like indie pop lore. Like that's like a legendary kind of album. So so yeah, this is her 6th album, Laurel Hell. So I'm sure, what did you think? What did you think of this album?
I mean, I'm glad you pointed out Phoebe Bridgers thing because I immediately thought Phoebe Bridgers. Immediately.
Yeah.
And I know that's like we go back to all the time, but that album is like really, really did introduce, me specifically into like a whole new world of music now. And obviously listen to more of these projects, I feel more immersed more than ever. But I immediately thought Phoebe because similar to that 2020 album Punisher, you hear the album title and the cover, you're like, man, this is gonna be loud. She's gonna be screaming. And you hear Laurel Hell, you're thinking, oh my gosh, like I don't even know what Laurel means. Like, do you even know what that means? I don't even know what that
it says right here. It says Laurel Hell is a term from the southern Appalachians in the United States where laurel bushes basically grow in dense thickets and they grow really wide.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can't make the connection right now, but
I can't make the connection right now. Okay, maybe she's from Japan, but like she grew up in the South. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds like. But the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, the sounds are interesting. But again, not a bad way. But like she's really like not monotone, but she has really soft voice. I was not expecting that at all. I was actually pretty shocked. Honestly, I was like, wow, I did not expect this at all. Kind of give me. Hey, remember that album Soccer Mommy that released last year? Was that last year or year before that? Yeah. And you see the album cover. Avery loves these. It's like you're like, oh my god, this album's about to be crazy, and it's still good. But you'll be like, man, like the energy is not
like
where I
thought. The most low key thing you already heard.
Exactly, and this is kind of the same thing. But honestly, the production was really interesting. Copy like really, you talk about indie pop, but it was like just really poppy, like just poppy sounding things on this. I don't remember the track. Maybe it was Working for the Knife or intro track, but really interesting sounds on here that I really enjoyed. I also enjoyed Heat Lightning, mostly because I actually like the title track. I mean, the name of the title. That's like a really cool name. But yeah, like again, she's really, really personal. Really, really personal.
Yeah, obviously, it sounds like a career a lot.
Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on it though. How'd you feel?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this album. I think to me the singles stood out more than the songs that weren't singles.
Or the singles.
The album cuts. Working for the Knife, Heat Lightning, and then The Only Heartbreaker, and Love Me More,
Mm.
And I Love Me More, I really love. Like that sounds like a old school pop song that I really enjoyed. And also Working for the Knife is like really dark, really, it's like very like F capitalism kind of thing. She's like,
oh yeah, Avery all about that, man.
She was like, that. At the end she's like dying for the knife.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it took me a couple listens to get kind of more acquainted with the album cuts rather than the singles. I just don't think they stood out to me as much, which made sense why she chose as singles, I think.
Yeah, what'd you think about Everyone? That's an interesting track to me. The lyrics on there. What'd you think about that track?
Why is it interesting to you?
I don't know, man. Some of the interesting's really interesting. Like, everyone said don't go that way. So of course to that I said I think I'll go that way. I don't know. It seems like she's really being like, and I left the door open to the dark, and I said, "Come in wherever you are." Obviously, she don't sound like that. She's obviously singing, but I don't know. Is she talking about her career? Is she
I think she's talking about her career.
Life? Is she talking about people like? Yeah,
she's talking about her sudden rise to fame in a metaphorical manner. But yeah,
exactly. That was interesting. Honestly, like the lyrics, like were more interesting, and I always say this, like even if like that's why lyricism, in all sense, not just like in everything, is important, because like even if the sound or sonically you may not enjoy it as much, when you read the lyrics, it's like, oh, she was talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing too. There's not a lot of lyrics on here, but they're really impactful. Like Everyone, like if you just read it, you'll think this
super short.
Super short. You think it's like a minute's track, but the song's 3, almost 4 minutes. So that was a really, really interesting one.
Yeah, it reads like a poem.
Yeah, exactly. Another one, you mentioned Love Me More. Another interesting one. That's another interesting one too. I don't know. It looks like she's talking about like, becoming an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of stepping out of her shell and kind of, being more public with the music, which is interesting. Not as short as the other one, obviously, but still a short track. But not a short track, but in terms of the lyrics and whatnot.
Yeah,
but,
like more repetitive lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Which is something that's interesting. That honestly, I like that, because that kind of speaks to kind of maybe anxiety. Speaking, like when you're thinking about something, you kind of think about it over and over again. Like when you have a thought that's something you're going through, you're like, oh man, it's not something that just, goes and it's gone. It's like, oh man, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? It's kind of one of those things. So yeah, that was sort of interesting. She's really personal. Definitely the most personal album reviewing. Yeah.
The lyrics really stood out to me on this album more than kind of the instrumentation and the songs behind them.
Totally agree.
I think hearing how she's reflecting on her career, especially because as she's become like this more reclusive kind of figure, this person that people are really interested in, like knowing what she's up to, and then just hearing her reflect on kind of the pandemic and how it affected her art and why she became an artist and stuff like that. That stood out to me more than the music itself, which I don't know is like if that's.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I don't think it's a good thing.
You think it's a bad thing?
I mean, if you think of like the lyrics as one part of the song, and that's the only part that's really standing out to me on most things, rather than the whole, like the holisticness of the song.
I agree. I think that's a fair criticism, even though it's not really a criticism. Like her writing is incredible. Her songwriting is actually really incredible. But in the end, we are listening to music to enjoy it, like how it sounds. That's what I think. You want to enjoy how the song sounds, and I think that does matter. And yeah, man, it's not a lot of ups and downs in terms of like the energy on it. It's really like
Love Me More feels like the peak, honestly, and then
and it's not even that like
it's not even that crazy. So
that crazy. Yeah. So great songwriting. I'll go first. Man, we've been really like on these songs. Like they're not bad, but honestly, none of these albums are bad. But I think we're just being fair. But my score again, incredible songwriting. Not a lot of variance throughout the project. It was short, so that's not a bad thing. But it was just like really one level the whole time, which for some people might work. I'm gonna give it. This is tough. This is tough, man. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Yeah.
You know why I gave it that? Because I was thinking about Currency, and I was like, it's not bad, but the thing is, lyrics on here did stand out. Like, oh, I wonder what she means by that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the 0.5 bumped it up a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Nah, I think I'm like in your same ballpark. I'm gonna go 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I think like, yeah, she's such a strong writer, but I think if I'm especially comparing it to her last album, I don't think it's as good. I don't think it's as innovative.
How was her last album in terms of like the sound?
It was great. I mean, it's what you want out of like an indie rock, indie pop album.
More varied.
She did a lot of like, yeah, more varied. She did a lot of really, really cool stuff on there that I just don't think she capitalized on this one. So
cool.
So, yeah.
Well, that's it on our review roundup.
You want to run through it real quick?
Yeah. Let's run through the. Oh yeah, our scores. Hippo Campus. I gave it 7.5. Avery gave it 9. Highest score of the roundup for sure. Currency and The Alchemist Continuance. I gave it a 6, and Avery gave it a 6 across the board. Saba, A Few Good Things. I gave it a 7.5. Avery gave it an 8. And Mistki, Laurel Hell. I gave it a 6.5. You gave it a 7. We're pretty much in the same area for the most part.
Yeah.
For a lot of these.
How do you feel about February as a music month in 2022?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay. Really okay. Honestly, there was a lot more interesting singles that came out. Like, you know, obviously I'm still waiting for that Nigo project to come out because, like, you know, those singles. I mean, Pusha T released a single that, you know, it was cool, but we're really excited for the album. Yeah, man, nothing crazy. You know, that happens typically with these years. Like, you know, it's like January, some songs like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah. And
then like February and March are like, oh, it's kind of like because you know people are revving up for the summer.
Yeah.
And you know,
this feels like April, this feels like what January was like should have been. You know, like it was cool. You know, like
cool.
January we got some big releases right off the bat with like The Weeknd, Gunna, even like FK Twigs was fantastic. So,
yeah, those are big releases.
So and then this one felt a little bit more low key. So
okay, for sure. Not bad. You know, you can't be on the high the whole time, you know.
Yeah.
We need room for releases like this. These aren't the biggest artists in the world, obviously, but yeah, definitely artists with fan bases. So
do we get a Kendrick album next month?
No. No.
Damn it.
But it's coming this year. I think it's coming this year. I think, you know, sometimes we can kind of like sense when something's on the way. I think Kendrick's revenue. Honestly, I think for TD specifically, I think they're gonna have a lot of their big artists come out. SZA still hasn't come out in a while, and I think Schoolboy too. Those are like their 3 biggest acts. Would you think like that's their 3 biggest acts? Kendrick, SZA, and Schoolboy. Those are their biggest acts.
I feel like SZA has to knock it out of the park. She's gonna be the star after Kendrick leaves.
I mean, yeah, she's a star. I mean, she's arguably
she is the star, but
yeah, she's arguably as big as Kendrick. Obviously, Kendrick's like the mainstay because like he's been there forever. But like SZA's arguably as big. She's damn near a pop star. You know what I'm saying?
She's gonna be the main guy after he leaves.
For sure, main woman
after he leaves.
For sure. Yeah, so we're looking forward to the rest of the year. Billboard. Yeah, let's see this Hot 100. What's this looking like? Obviously, we don't talk about Bruno and Kanto. That track. It's pretty much settled on there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Glass Animals had a big bump.
Yeah. You're gonna
say something about Kanto?
Yeah, I think their Oscar campaign's gonna heat up.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
And I think they're gonna win. So
you ready for the commercials?
After they win an Oscar, after Lin-Manuel gets on stage, maybe they perform it at the Oscars. You know, so we'll see.
We'll talk about the Oscars because that's a lot of, you know, obviously music's connected, and you know, there's been a lot of talk about the Oscars and where it stands, and you know, culture and whatnot. A lot of negative talk, honestly. But yeah, Glass Animals. You love Glass Animals, aren't you?
Yeah, I love Glass Animals. Yeah, it's funny. It's still funny to me. I've been a fan of theirs since forever, right? But like, it's funny to me that Heat Waves is the song that is like so popular.
Because that's not one of your.
It's like it's fine. Like I think they have a lot of cooler songs, especially on their like previous 2 albums. They have a lot of really cool stuff, and it's funny that Heat Waves is kind of the song that everyone's connecting to.
For sure, Avery. If you go down, because honestly, a lot of this stuff is the same. But if you go down to 23, there's a re-entry from what we did a couple weeks. Honestly, this kind of from last week, but still Dre. Nnamdi said it last week, but a lot of the songs that a lot of albums that performed at the Super Bowl halftime show, are gonna come back in. Like 37 is the next episode. 40 is Lose Yourself by Eminem. Yeah. So I wonder how Donda's gonna perform on here. Like, how do they
what song from Donda would even?
Are they going to consider whoever buys the stem player as an album?
That's a great question.
Remember when Rihanna released her last album, the one that, the last release? And remember it was like, it went platinum instantly because Samsung bought all the albums and it was kind of free or something like that. Right. Remember that thing? Is it going to be a thing kind of like that where like, whoever buys the stem player is going to count as one album?
That's the thing. Aren't you? I mean, if you think about the stem player, you're essentially paying $200 for an album. I mean, that's like what you're doing,
for an album,
right? And it's the thing where you can use more than one album on it. Obviously, like you can play more than one album on there.
Yeah.
But if you're buying it right now, you're purchasing it to listen to Donda 2, which is apparently out.
I agree.
So
it's out.
Some version of it is out right now. So
yeah.
Who knows?
If you've downloaded it, send us the link.
Yes. Send it to us.
Send that link over.
Send us a stem player if you want.
Send us a stem. I do not want that thing, bro. That's confusing. Are there instructions? I guarantee there's no instruction. I guarantee it's like enjoy, and that's it. It's like
I know. Well, if you go on the website, you can like hit download Donda 2, and then it gives you a thing where it says no devices are connected.
exactly. So you have to have the stem player, which is which sucks. But Billboard 200, pretty much the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? Drake is in the top 5, number 4. Avery has some comments. Some people.
Well, I'm just saying. It's just, Drake's at 7 here with Certified Lover Boy. Donda is at 20 for Kanye, which moved up from 40. So all I'm saying is, and Drake moved up from 7 to 4. So, it just seems like a lot of us are listening to Certified Lover Boy a bit more than Donda.
Agreed. I agree. Good Kid, Mad City was there. That was your project of the week.
Yeah. Our influence.
All right. Yeah, exactly. So, not much changes.
All I'm saying is, maybe some of us, when they both came out, were calling that like one will have a little bit more staying power and the other wouldn't. And, I'm right.
Honestly,
so I'm just going to put that out.
We're comparing apples to oranges. Like, these are two big artists. Like, they obviously both have staying power. And I think we're kind of, and I agree with you. Like, Drake is just more relevant. Not more relevant, but like just more popular. He is more popular. Just a little bit.
I'm just talking shit. But
obviously. But it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. We miss you, Nnamdi.
I know. No one's here to argue with me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just me. But Billboard highlights, nothing crazy, nothing changed, honestly. Project of the week. And this is interesting because one of me, Avery and I's favorite podcast, Bill Simmons, Freddie Gibbs was on this project. On that episode. Good interview, really good interview. Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. This is perfect. This is honestly perfect.
It's a perfect album. It really
it's honestly 10 out of 10. Like,
if you want to know what it's like to like listen to a gangster movie, listen to this album.
This album is really good. Oh man, honestly, my favorite track on here.
What is it?
Man, I have a couple. God is Perfect.
Yep.
Baby Shit.
Yep.
Babies and Fools. Oh my gosh. Babies and Fools, the little I love that. Obviously Scotty Beam is like just stand out because like
Scotty Beam is fantastic. I love that.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I love Something to Rap About.
Something to Rap About with Tyler, right? Tyler is on there.
Tyler. And then 1985 is awesome.
1985, yeah, man. People that track grew on me because when I first heard it, I was like, is this really how he's starting off? But Freddie Gibbs.
He said he wrote it watching The Last Dance.
It honestly sounds right. It sounds like something Michael Jordan would listen to. I wonder what that interaction is like. Michael Jordan, Freddie Gibbs. That's a lot of shit talking. But yeah, man, really good project. Obviously, it had to be on like our top albums of the year in 2020.
It was, yeah.
Or like maybe like right outside it. Like if we did a top 10, it would have been on it, something like that. But yeah, man, really good project. And I had that hoodie and I messed it up with bleach. So yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's coming out with a new album soon this year. So
yeah, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, we're waiting.
Call it triple S or something.
Yeah, triple S, something like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good. Probably it's Freddie Gibbs.
My project of the week is Once Twice Melody by Beach House.
Kanye collaborator.
Yeah, apparently they posted a picture of them over the weekend. They're like a. I honestly was not familiar with Beach House before last weekend. It's kind of like pop electronic kind of music, but it's like super chill. I really do not know how to describe them.
Are they new? Are they old? Like
no, they've been around for a while. My brother told me their last album was one of his favorites of that year.
We need Avery's brother. Avery's brother.
Low-key should have him on here. But their first album came out in 2006. Like they've been around forever.
Around the same time as Kanye.
Yeah. So this album's awesome. If you're ever just like relaxing and just need something to put on,
chill album.
This album is so perfect. It's like you just kind of get lost in it, and it's super immersive. I put a song on the playlist last week called "Runaway." And yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with any song of this album. It's like 18 songs, 18 songs an hour and 24.
Wow.
So it's pretty long, but
it's like a background album. It's not like a.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like something you listen to and you like don't even realize.
Is it giving me? There was a project and you're probably not gonna get it, but there was a project from like 2 years ago, and it was a project like, man, this is a good working album. The album art is crazy. I forgot what it was. This is something for off camera, but it was something interesting. But yeah. But that's dope. Beach House, Once Twice Melody, Alfredo, Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist. Those will be on the playlist for sure. We did our newsletter this past week. Avery wrote about music soundtracks and I'm actually, because he had another idea, but Avery called me early this week about, man, this movie just came out. Oh my gosh, this movie. Oh my gosh. And
the worst person in the world.
Oof. Yeah, Avery said he loves that movie. He's literally in love with that movie.
I am in love with that movie.
And he's in love with the soundtrack.
Amazing soundtrack. And I'm not talking about a score that your Alan Silvestri's, your Hans Zimmer's will make.
You're talking about soundtrack, actual
curated soundtrack, like a playlist. So,
like Black Panther level.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like vibes like that. Yeah.
Interesting. That's
I think it's harder than that even because those songs were made for the movie, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm thinking like
songs that are released
that were made already. And kind of what songs match the vibe of the movie. So
that's even better.
And there's some great ones. Like Goodfellas has an amazing soundtrack. Yeah. Garden State by Zach Braff. That's my favorite movie soundtrack ever. And yeah, Worst Person in the World. Amazing soundtrack.
American Gangster.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a good point.
Oh yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. You talking about soundtracks or songs that are already released? Got you. Yep, that's a good one. Yeah, I agree with you.
What'd you write about?
Newsletter. I wrote about not Kanye, but the documentary. His documentary. Yeah, and I wrote about. We kind of referenced this last week, but like these days when artists or like any significant figure does a documentary, it's kind of. And you kind of wonder about the transparency because, when you see a documentary like Tom Brady documentary produced by Tom Brady, it's like, oh,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So,
The Last Dance was good entertainment.
Yeah, good entertainment. Not necessarily a documentary, but it's still good entertainment. And I think that's still important in documentary. And, with the Genius documentary, Kanye was like, hey, let me get final say. And Cudi and Chike alleged they were like, no. And I like that. And I think, obviously you want the person involved in it, but like, the person it's about the subject of the matter, you want them involved in it. But I think, still getting the screenwriter's point of view is important. And it brings some transparency and honesty, not to say that, the people doing it or it won't be honest. Like, Michael Jordan, again, was super honest about himself. Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But I think it's important, what I'm saying, to get like a unbiased viewpoint, which I wrote about that. So yeah, check that out. We have a playlist coming. Episode 80, I believe. This is episode 80.
Wow.
Look at us go. Look at us go. Yeah, check us out. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. Follow us at the 97 Demo. Newsletter at Substack. We tweeted out. Playlist coming this week. And